Hey, 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 ladies, gentlemen, and transgenders, welcome back to the Slothcast, the Heroes of the Storm podcast, where we talk about all the things that you need to know. I am your friendly neighborhood Latino Narsha, and just this week I thought I should do a joke about paper, but never mind, it's really terrible. Terrible? This week, we'll go through the most important stuff from the last month, but I can't do that alone. Oh, no. With me this week are the fabulous, fantastic Finnish flamer. He has no need for feed, and he spends his days in the Heroes Lounge Division 1. This is the guy that are from so far north of the wall that the Night King thinks it's too cold. Welcome back to the show, Ravatar.
Thank you, Narsha. That was a terrible introduction.
Just like the audience expected to be. So, I haven't seen you for a while. Is everything good with you?
Yeah, everything's good. My team finally has a 5-man roster.
Hey!
We have the next season.
Yeah, and you also played in the playoffs for last season's Heroes Lounge, didn't you? How did that go?
Yeah, the MVP of the series was basically our Tassadar bot, and I guess our internet got rigged, and we basically played with bots, and then bias emergency sub that didn't go really well either. So it could have gone better. The playoffs started the same way our season started. We also had a couple of bot games during the season.
Okay, so you have the next season. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, we have now a 5th member with actual internet who has yet to disconnect during games.
If I'm not mistaken, it's a former guest of the show as well?
Bread Bucket, yes.
Bread Bucket, a very handsome British man that's been on the Slothcast over several times. And hoping we can get him back again soon. But we got more people here. Our next member of the board is not only a very strong player, but an active moderator in the Heroes Lounge community. Hailing from Sweden, he prefers to be alone in the solo lane. He is my personal man crush, and a pleasure to have you on again, Pittor.
Hello, Narsha. Happy to be here again.
Good to have you here. So what's you been up to for the last month and a half?
Well, personally, quite a lot of stuff. I'm actually moving soon. I've sold my apartment, and I've played a lot of HOTS.
And you won a lot of games, I hope.
Around 50%, probably.
Yeah, but that's what Blizzard are aiming for, so I guess you're their perfect customer.
Yeah. I got placed in Team Leagues, Diamond 4, so I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, okay. Not too shabby.
Not too shabby.
The last man to fill out the desk for today is someone well known for followers of the Slothcast. He has been on several episodes all the way from the start and is in fact our executive producer, but are taking a step forward to share his wisdom today. He is one of the best Zarya players on the continent and have an absurdly high MMR in unranked. Happy to have you here, Rooney.
Hello. Yeah, I'm happy to be here again. It's been a while, a bit of sloughing off, but I did my rantings on a new Zarya guide, so it should be out there somewhere. Yeah, took my time for that one.
Nice. Just to follow up about that Zarya guide as mentioned here is it's a very solid Zarya player. Is that on Heroes Heart, or do you have posted it somewhere else? Or
I put it on Reddit. Should be able to find it via my username Rooney7. Just put the 7 behind it and you will find it. Basically, my most upvoted post, and yeah, I can also put it down in the description when we get that far.
Sure. Of course, everyone, we are hanging out on Discord and stuff like that, so feel free to poke us if that's something you might be interested in, and we'll send it your way. That's the 4 of us that's going to talk about Heroes of the Storm with you today. But the Slothcast is once again back, but I feel I have to apologize for the downtime. It all has to do with the curse of real life. Myself, I've started my master's degree, which takes a huge amount of my time, maybe because I'm not very smart. And us all have things happening that unfortunately took us away from the podcast for a while. But we'll do our best to keep it coming. And that's pretty much it. We still really want to do it, but we're doing what we can. But to make up for it, we'll now each say sorry to you, our listener, in our native languages. Så beklager så mye.
Jag ber så hemskt mycket om ursäkt.
Avatar, please.
Anteeksi, perkele.
And Rooney.
Sorry. Yeah, Dutch are pretty lame. It's just sorry.
Dutch word for sorry can't be sorry. I've never understood the Dutch, either the language or the people.
We're sorry for Rooney.
Yeah. So, over to something more interesting. A ton of things have happened since our last episode. Not only have multiple new heroes entered the Nexus, but tons of reworks to existing heroes have mixed up the meta, and there is Blizzcon going on. But we can't talk about all of it, so we're saving stuff like Ana and Volskaya Foundry for the next episode. That means the topics, as you can see on your screen, is Junkrat, Zul'jin, Muradin, and a tiny bit of Blizzcon at the end. So I say let's just get on with it. So, Junkrat, newest hero to enter the Nexus. He is once again an Overwatch hero that's been put into the game. He is pretty weird in many ways, and I think that's a lot of question marks going around when it comes to him. Is he a kind of siege character with this long range? Is he an assassin? Is he... What really is he? First impressions, guys.
My personal first impressions are that he's super fun to play. His playmaking, the only playmaking thing that he really has is either one-shotting him with his ults or repositioning with his mines. In terms of his viability, I'm not sure. I think he has his bots, but I'm torn.
Yeah, I think he fits really well into the game like all the Overwatch heroes, which means not fitting into the game at all and being toxic overall and not welcome. But he is mostly, in my opinion, excellent anti-siege hero. He's like Garrosh, who you cannot really dodge in a way. Like,
why is that? Is that like down to the range of the Qs and how they bounce around? Or
I actually played a scrim in Braxis holdout against another Division 1 team where we left a lone Junkrat to defend against 4-man, and they couldn't even push because whenever they went anywhere close to the wall, they would get blown up inside. So it was just extremely frustrating to play against Junkrat because it's not exactly interactive.
Now we kind of take for granted that everyone knows how his kit works. Super quick, his Q shoot out some grenade, they bounce around, they have huge range. Is it the W that's the bouncy mine?
You put the mine somewhere and then you press your D or trait to explode it.
Yeah, and if you're, it works similar to Ziggs from League of Legends, for those that have played him. If you're close enough to the mine when you activate it, you will get thrown away. And that also works for him, of course, but he won't take any damage. So what Ravatar explains here, if he places the mine close to his own gate and you go past it and he activates it, you will get thrown over the gate and into certain death. His last skill being a mine that will root you for X amount of seconds if you step into it. Rooney, how about you?
I really, really love to play Junkrat. The thing is with Junkrat, as Rafter has said, he might be a little bit toxic, just a little bit, but he brings a lot of utility to the team. He is not necessarily a super high damage character, but he can do some substantial damage in the right circumstances. A bit like Zarya in a way. Like his nades also kind of work the same way, how you aim them, as Zarya nades. And Zarya also, her damage output is gated behind a few mechanics. And with Junkrat, it's trying to get a lot of enemies close together and then just unleashing a lot of damage. Maybe even inting in for the passive damage. Boxlot.
Yeah, running it down. Valid strategy. Okay, so far we know he's fun and he got some interesting things in his kit, and he has great range on his Q to do a lot of poke damage. So what's his role in a team comp? Like, he's obviously a ranged character, so you would have to fill in one of those spots. But like, when would you want to, or what do we want him to do for us?
His utility, definitely. His utility. Like, he has an insane amount of vision control and zone control. It's just really dumb. Like, his trap gives like a ton of vision. You can basically just keep vision over rotation by just planting a mine and a trap just somewhere on their rotation path, and they will never be able to come close to you without you knowing it. And you can just also, your Q has so much range and also gives vision, so you can just control the rotations like forever. Like, one of the maps I think he's really good on is Infernal Shrines, because Infernal Shrines has really small choke points that you have to get through, even when rotating, and just a mine can just reveal your whole rotation forever, and Junkrat can also meanwhile just delay you forever, while he just cleans up waves like instantly.
Yeah, because his PvE when it comes to wave clearing is pretty strong, but he has, what is it, half the damage or something like that on structures, or is that just down to certain skills?
It's only on his grenades.
The trait grenade or the Q grenade?
The Q grenade. It's reduced by 50%.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter, because you should be shooting it at enemy heroes anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
Go for kills.
Always smoke.
I think we played Team League on Volskaya. I played Junkrat. I think it was with Ravatar and somebody. I don't know. I don't remember if you were there, Rooney. But we used Junkrat to double soak on Volskaya, similar to you do on Soul. With his wave clear, it's actually really insane.
Mm. Yeah, because I think about the Q. Does it have 3 charges?
4.
4 charges, and they all come back at once, like NG. Yeah. So
they start to the cooldown starts when you cast the first one, so you can just cast one, and then when it's like 3/4 done, you can cast 3 and you get 4 instantly, so you can basically cast 7 in a row.
Yeah, and the cooldown on those grenades seem pretty fast, like overall. So I guess you can pretty much spam them.
12 seconds.
12 seconds. Oh, okay.
It's pretty high, but I mean, since you're casting them one by one in most cases, depending on the situation, you might want to spam them all 4, but mostly if you're just poking, you maybe cast them once every other second or something. Then the cooldown doesn't seem that high. Yeah. Then his 16 can change the cooldown depending on what you pick.
Yeah, okay. Let's just look at that real quick then when it comes to talents. We're not going to go through a whole talent build and every tier and tell you what to pick, mostly because we need to play around with him more before we can really give some useful information to you that we can stand behind. But what have you noticed so far from his talent tree?
Well, at level 4 you have 3 quest talents, either for your Q, your W, or your E. And I honestly think your Q is the best one.
Yeah, I agree.
W can be useful. Like, the launch distances can be supremely annoying to go up against.
This was on which level?
Level 4.
Level 4.
Okay, and the mine talent, you need to hit X amount of enemies with mines, and after that is completed, you will launch them further. Is that so?
Further and a little bit more damage.
Yeah, and you need to hit them 12 times.
So it's not a hard quest to complete, and it does have some value, but like the Q damage, even though it's a really slow quest to complete, the flat damage on the grenades is really good, because the grenades are very spammy, but they have a low damage. So if you increase that low damage with a flat amount, it's actually a pretty great damage boost. The last talent is of a E. If you like trap enough enemies, you can have up to 3 traps active. The point is, you can have 3 active, but you need like 24, 30 seconds setup time to get the 3 down.
Oh yeah, because the cooldown is still the same.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
One maybe little correction. I think overall the Q quest is better, but if you draft Junkrat in a purpose of stopping a heavy sieging comp, then where the games are not expected to go any longer, I think you will get more out of the W quest in that position.
Yeah.
Where you just want to blow people inside your gates.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah. And I think if the E quest had some kind of cooldown reduction as well, if you already have one up or something, it would be really insane if you go full E build to zone out everything.
Yeah, I was about to say, because like that quest, if it just like you said, they've had some kind of built-in cooldown reduction, that could have been pretty strong. Again, example from League of Legends, there's this champion named Caitlyn that can put out these traps, and when she defends, especially when she defends, she can just have a line of traps in front of the turret or in front of like the structure she wants to defend, and that like the enemy kind of can't move through it, because if they step into one, they will get focused down and take bonus damage, blah, blah, blah. But so that doesn't seem possible with the E build so far. But Ravatar was the point that the Q build takes too long to finish.
It never exactly finishes. It just goes. The value just goes higher as longer the game goes.
Yeah. Okay.
So you don't need to finish it.
No.
Just if you're going for the late game, then Q quest is fine. But if you're not expecting game to go past level 10, like ours didn't really in that particular game, I was cursing at myself for not picking the W quest because I constantly blew people right before my gate and just thought only.
Yeah. Thing is, like the reason why Q quest can even be considered is because of the level 16 talent tier.
Yeah.
Level 16 talent tier has basically like half the cooldown, and you shoot 3 instead of 4 instantly. I personally do not like a talent like at all. Like you honestly shouldn't pick it, because you have either the cooldown reduction talent. If you hit a hero, you get X second cooldown reduction. Do mind that is per hero. So if you hit like 2 heroes with each nade, you just have negative cooldown. You just keep spamming and spamming and spamming and spamming. Especially if like both teams aren't really committing to a fight. Like take for example a Blackheart's Pay, just coin standoff at the turn-in. The value of the talent is absolute bonkers. And then you have the split talent. Instead of shooting 1, you shoot 3, but like in a cone shape. So what happens is, if someone is in melee range, he gets hit by 3.
You do insane amount of damage.
If you get hit by 12 nades, it's gonna burst tanks even.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty interesting way to go. But do you need the Q talent from earlier, the quest talent, to get value out of it, or can it still like be good in itself on 16?
I mean, there are only Q talents in 16, so
Yeah.
You would have to choose one of them anyway.
Yeah, you'd have to choose one. And I mean, as Rini said, if you hit all 3 on one person in melee range, and you have like 100 extra damage from the Q quests, which is reasonable at that level, if you have done pretty well, you would get, if you hit 12 people, 12 nades on the same target, that's extra 1,200 damage. That's pretty insane.
Yeah, that can tip a team fight in your favor for sure.
Yeah. That's like basically half of Junkrat's own health, I think, at that level.
Okay, I was going to save that, but let's just jump on straight onto that. He's really squishy, isn't he?
I think he has the same health of Vala.
Yep.
He has, yeah, it was 1,290.
Yeah.
If I remember.
Yeah, that's nothing. Really.
Thing is, Junkrat has he has massive vision on his E, his W, and his Q.
Yeah.
If as long as it's not a Tracer and a Genji, or they have or they have an Illidan with Hunt, they have no real reliable way to get onto you because you just keep their whole front line at bay just because of the traps and the toxic things you just spread.
Toxic things you spread.
And one thing that helps you as well, if you take the level 13 talent, Ripper Air, where you get extra knockback on yourself and a cooldown reduction by 12 seconds, if you only hit yourself with the mine. You basically have, I haven't calculated the mount speed, but you run faster than the mount if you only use the bomb on yourself, and you can reposition super good during a fight. But that also will not, if you only use it on yourself, you will not get any value by bombing your enemies.
Yeah.
But since if you use it on yourself, I think the cooldown lands on 3 seconds, and then you can just throw out another mine if needed.
It's 12-second cooldown reduction, and that's from the moment you throw the mine. So if you throw the mine preemptively, you can basically use 2 mines in a row. And it also counts time when you're in the air and when you throw the bomb. So usually when you can imagine it has 2 seconds cooldown.
More or less.
Yes. So there is micromanaging that you can do to really min-max it.
And it also helps you can jump over obstacles and stuff. So on Cursed Hollow, you can reposition really easily to stay safe.
That talent at level 13 is really strong. I also kind of want to highlight the other talent that is the moving traps, because the really good niche that one has is 1 CC on a target that is in the range of that trap. The trap is walking towards him, means the trap is basically gonna hit. And that means that you have a 2-second root follow-up that's basically guaranteed because you can't destroy the trap or something. It's just really annoying to play around.
That's true. But one thing that I think is a bit negative about it, if you use the mine to get vision in a bush or something, and then someone mounts up and walk past it will start to chase that person and then no longer be in the bush. So you lose the vision. So that's one negative side of it, but it's still actually really good used properly.
So we haven't touched upon his heroics yet. He gets obviously 2 of them. Riptire, where it kind of reminds me of the Iron Star for World of Warcraft, the garage weapon thingy. When he just stands somewhere and he shoots out this iron tire that spins off, he is stationary while he does this, but he takes control over this Riptire thingy that can jump over obstacles, and he can press his straight button to make it blow up. Pretty self-explanatory. While Rocket Ride, after 1.25 seconds, Junkrat launches into the air. There's a red circle of death on the ground, which you should avoid, and where he can steer it himself, and where he lands, he will blow up and leave the grenades from his traits. That means he dies, but he will respawn after a couple of seconds and have a super fast mount so he can get back into the fight.
It actually doesn't count as a death.
Yeah,
he does respawn at the Nexus, but it doesn't count as a death.
Yeah, the most important thing is that he's taken out of the fight for X amount of seconds until he can get back. Of course, that helps having that super fast mount, but still, it's he is taken out of the fight for some seconds. So, what do we think here?
So the thing with Riptire and the Rocket Ride is Rocket Ride is basically an anti-feed button. Oh boy, people are on top of me. Let me just bail the fuck out and get back to spawn and just come back with full HP. Hey, that's pretty good. The thing is, you do that, it's basically just a really good bye-bye from Chromie, where you suicide, do a bunch of damage, and then come back with a mount with super high movement speed. The thing is, you are still out of the fight for 15 approximate seconds.
Yeah, depending on the size of the map, you will be gone for a while.
And that is a long time, especially if you are pushing towards their keep or something, then you're like gone for 25 seconds. It's really fucking bad for your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't get a kill with the rocket ride either, suddenly your team is 5 against 4 or 4 against 5 in those seconds it takes you to get back.
So the thing is, I would say, depending on your 16 choice, the 16 choice you will pick, you go either rocket ride or riptire. Like riptire, you go with the cooldown reduction, because people are not going to be diving on you. Did I mention that with riptire, if you get CC'd, actually like you get cancelled? So that's really annoying. You need to be pretty far away and not be pressured.
Yeah. Yeah. The wheel just dies if you're stunned or something. Like
Yeah.
That. Yeah. Okay.
And the same thing is to mention with the rocket ride. If they have a lot of CC, you will basically never get it off because the cast time is actually pretty insane. I haven't calculated, but it's like 1.5, 2 seconds maybe.
1.25 seconds.
1.25. Yeah.
I saw that a couple of times where they played against a Junkrat that only used it as a get out of dodge button, kind of like, okay, I'm about to die, I'm just gonna suicide for it, and after we started to just stun him when he tried to do that, that helped a lot. And of course, the RIP tire, RIP tire, it's you also are stationary, and you don't have any control over your character. And I played Vala, and I came across a Junkrat that was just sitting there controlling the tire, and he didn't even know I was there. So I just poof, 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 and he just died while controlling the tire, and that was decently easy.
Continue, Rini. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
The thing with riptire is you kind of want to use it because it's not really that, like the riptire actually dies fairly quickly. Like it's not gonna die to all attacks, but if they throw some abilities at it, it's just gonna be negated. So how I think you should use riptire is you float around, because it can jump over walls. So you just let like that riptire noise just sink into your enemies. Hey, look at me, there's a riptire coming. Hey, there's a riptire coming. And they will have to save those abilities. And meanwhile, your team can just move in. And if you then suddenly jump over a wall, you still get it off, probably on 1, maybe two people. And if they are not saving some damaging ability, you can get it onto 4.
One thing worth to mention is that the actual tire is not unstoppable. So you can gust it, you can telekinese it, you can what's it called? Flailing swipe it away, haymaker it away.
Can you garrosh throw it away?
Yeah, I was just saying the NFF strats, you can not throw it away, you can also throw it.
Throw it on your team.
That's grief supreme.
Yeah, Sambar pointed out in chat, mind control versus riptire. But I don't think it counts as a hero.
Mosh it.
Mosh it. Yeah, I mean, you can stun it as well, so you can mosh pit it.
That's a nice use of resources.
But Rosmix, do you know, can you explode it while you're stunned, or is it? I don't think so.
I wouldn't know.
Oh, while the tire is stunned, if
Junkrat
can activate
if it counts like Junkrat isn't stunned, can you explode it?
I think you can just always explode it, honestly, but that will require some science and some testing.
Yeah, we'll have to test that and get back to you.
We spent almost a half an hour now, so I'm just gonna try to round out. Okay, so Junkrat. We talked about Garrosh. Lexa in the chat mentions that he's kind of a ranged Garrosh. And it seems a lot of his strength come from the repositioning from the mines, in addition to his strong poke. Would you draft him with the Garrosh just for that double hook in, throw, and then a mine to just punch him further, or is that just this?
That is really inconsistent. Like the mine takes some time, and it's not like an instant follow-up. You could draft it with Garrosh, so you like plant a mine in the middle of the lane or something, or in front of your wall, and Garrosh just throws people on top of the mine, and then they get sent into the wall for real. But that sounds overkill, honestly.
Yeah, you also have the kind of let's say Garrosh misses his throw, and then the enemy feels safe and secure. Oh shit, there was a mine there. I don't know. But the poke, of course, should be, because it's huge, the range of the Q, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can take talents to make it even further.
I know Rini doesn't like that talent, but I actually prefer it before the other.
I do love it too.
Yeah.
So, okay, 2 against 1. Sorry, Rooney, you're off the show.
Yeah.
There's a door right there.
Okay, okay. So we have a decent idea of how you want to use him. Where his strength lies.
Should we mention like best and worst map?
Yeah, sure, in a sec. Because I also just want to think, when do you not want to draft him? And we do know he has really low health pool, and he's weak against dive. So if the enemy team already has a Genji, already has a Tracer, you should probably not look towards Junkrat.
Yeah, just blow up, point and click, shenanigans, kills the Junkrat.
I think the greatest counter against Junkrat is still probably Zeratul, because even if there's Genji or Tracer, he still has the capability, especially with Repair, blow himself out for a long distance, but Vorpal Blade is a thing, so you don't really care.
Yeah.
And also you can one-shot Junkrat, which is pretty nice too.
Valera has been really annoying in my quick match games with Junkrat.
Valera is always annoying.
Malera? I guess so. He's weak against any type of blow up like that. His health is really low. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But now I'm gonna leave it to you, Peter. Now that we kind of know where his strength lies, where his weakness lies, what are your initial impressions of his best and worst maps?
Personally, but that's probably why I probably played him wrong. I got like 0 value out of him on Infernal Shrines. When we were on the Shrine phase, well, you cleared the minions, but your Q never get any value, so they can outpoke you quite hard. But that's probably only because I was bad at him. His best maps, in my opinion, is maybe Cursed Hollow, because you can reposition so good, and you get really good pokes on the tributes, and maybe Volskaya, because you can get an insane amount of Q stacks early game around the shrines. And you can also double soak with him because he has an insane wave clear.
Yeah, I like him too on Curse Solo and Volskaya, but also on Praxis. I think I haven't played on Praxis personally, but like I see in no way that he's bad on that map, because you fight at such a static point, and Junkrat likes static point fight. And I also like him at Infernals, as I said before. It's just really annoying to go up against Junkrat there.
I love him most personally on Braxis every time, because it's kind of like Garrosh. Like sooner or later someone will get blown up, and if you're in a static foreman. But also you rotate faster than Genji between the 2 lanes. You're almost like a global on Braxis holdout, especially if you go for Repair.
Yeah.
But you probably need a talent for that. Like you can jump one wall, but then you run.
But with Repair, you can.
You can do both. Yeah, you can just go over to the boss and then walk over to the wall. Yeah, okay. I see.
Yeah, and one thing to mention as well, he's with every map that has a boss, he's probably really good at, because he has insane boss control with his W. He basically has holy ground from level 1.
Yeah, you can just place the mine in the middle and wait for someone to come. Yeah, you will get. Yeah, you just need to wait out of radius for it yourself, so you also don't.
I mean, you are really squishy. You probably shouldn't stand on the point anyway. It should probably be your tank, and your allies won't be affected by the mine. It's only you and your enemies.
Of course, but no solo stealing of that boss just yet. Okay, I think we got a decent look at Junkrat now. As we get to play him more, we will hopefully be able to get back to him and maybe suggest a talent build that we can really support, all of us. But it's going to be interesting to see how he works out. I was about to say, let's see at BlizzCon, but he's not allowed at BlizzCon just yet, and which was a lot of drama, but we're not going to go into that. Instead, we're going to do some trolling, and by that I mean our favorite Armani.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
man.
You want X?
I would axe.
Rune, let me hear your best Zul'jin impression.
Oh, please no. I'm not doing that.
Everyone else did it.
It's, I don't even remember quotes. I'm really bad at this.
You just say, yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
It will roll.
You do this a lot, Ravatar.
I used to be a voice actor once upon a time.
Ravatar is confirmed troll.
Confirmed.
Gonna be in the mojo.
That's a Finnish troll.
It's
I'm
not
need
exactly
for Need for Speed trolling is expected.
Exactly.
He has the same traits. Okay, so Zul'jin has been out for a long time, about a year. Didn't he come out?
A little bit less.
Yeah, I just remember. I think it was the first hero to come out after BlizzCon. Yes, last year.
I think so.
Yeah, after the Ragnaros variant thing. Okay, anyways, he's been out for a good while. And me personally, I'm a range player, so I picked him up and spammed him a lot and got him to level like 15, 16 somewhere and didn't play him much after that since other heroes did the same thing as he did, only better. But now he's gotten... yeah, but now he's gotten a big rework that's kind of switched him up in many ways. Anyone want to cover this?
Zul'jin is amazing.
He is, isn't he?
He's amazing.
So
He's amazing.
Zul'jin.
Okay, now Ravatar, take us through what has made him amazing.
First of all, I think that he's an amazing hero to play against Tassadar or not. I mean Tracer or Vala hyper carry. Because before it used to be like, why don't you want to play Zul'jin here? Because you will get out-kited because you have less range and you're not mobile. Now my experience is I play against Zul'jins with Lucia and I'm the one who gets out-kited and outraged because the range is insane. And I don't even go for Headhunter, but still having 6.6 is pretty insane range.
It's pretty insane.
Yeah, because you start out with 5. And then after landing, like his earlier you could pick up a questing talent on level 1 that if you hit X amount of heroes with your auto attacks, you will get blah blah blah. Now that is built in. It's what's it called? Standard
Baseline.
Baseline. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, I don't know words. After 5 basic attacks, you get a basic attack damage increase by 1. Then after landing 75 basic attacks, you will get 1.1 extra range on those auto attacks, which is really, really practical.
And damage increase. I think the best thing about now Zul'jin is that always, whatever hero you play, the basis is that you don't want axe, but you could usually outrun the axe.
Yeah.
Now you don't.
Yeah, not anymore. That also ties in with his with the next like step in the quest tree. After he hit 150 basic attacks, his twin cleave, Zul'jin's W, will revolve twice instead of only one time, and that leads us into Mage Jin, which was a thing earlier. He kind of had two builds, one where he went with auto attacks and one where he went with W talents and Mage Jin. Kind of build, and now that just seems dominant.
Yeah.
Is there any reason not to go W build now?
No.
Not
Don't
really.
pick Tastingo, please.
Okay, but just let me be stupid for a minute. Why?
For a minute only.
Okay, I'll try.
But I mean, Tastingo still has the same problem that it done before. That thing has basically not changed. Yeah, you get U1 axe baseline, but you can still kite him, you can still gust him, you can still cocoon him, you can still blind him. He still has the same counters.
Okay, yeah. I agree to all that. Zul'jin or Testingo is a weird ult that can be hard to get value out of if the opponent plays around it correctly. But as both Hidde and Lexa mentions in the chat here, Guillotine is amazing. Not only
is amazing.
30-second cooldown, and it does tons of damage. And with the new talent that you take on level 4, that's called Amani Rage. I love this. It's an activatable talent. You press it, and you just reduce your health by 50%, and then get it regen it back up again.
Yeah.
Then you might think, why would you want to do that? Because, of course, Guillotine's damage is tied up to much health you have, and if you just drop that down 50%, I think I saw somewhere that if you're at full health, you pop a Mana Rage, go down to 50% health, and use the Guillotine, you will do the same or more amount of damage than a Chromie W with the Dragon's Eye talent hitting in the middle.
The thing is, instead of saying that Guillotine is really good, I would rather say that the level 4 talent and Mana Rage is just that fucking amazing.
It's broken.
The talent is so incredibly dumb good on Zul'jin. Zul'jin just generally just scales of his health being very low, and the Mana Range just lets you edge that.
Yeah.
It gets counted, however, really hard by Alan, but that's out of the picture.
Yeah.
You because of the regen, you just stay at you basically stay at 50% as long as you're kind of in combat, and then you just get a really good Guillotine, you get good W's, your level 1 talent gives you spell power now, if you're at 50% or lower HP.
Yeah, that makes some Mana Rage even better, because you practically always get 20% extra spell power.
Okay, sorry, Bravatar.
Yeah, it's not just that you can activate Guillotine. One of the greatest weaknesses of Zul'jin was that he was so horrible at any ganks or gank pushes, because you don't do that meaningful damage unless you have taken health. But now you can on demand just make yourself, for a while, extremely dangerous. And you can use him on ganks.
So basically, Guillotine hasn't been changed as the ability itself. It's the level 4 and the level 1 talents that has changed, that made it viable. Guillotine is still the same numbers, I believe. I don't think that was changed.
Yeah, because
only the upgrade.
Yeah, because I want to go kind of back to that. We can all agree that Guillotine is an amazing heroic. I like heroics with a short cooldown because I miss them, so I can try again in 30 seconds. And yeah, but if you never try, you never succeed. I'll just never succeed. But the W build, the Mage Jin build, we all agree it's amazing. We've played it. We do tons of damage. And I'm going to go with Galningun as answer if you guys can help me out, because why is it so good? The baseline cooldown is increased from 8 to 10 seconds, and the mana cost is also increased. So why is this suddenly the dominant build?
Because there's now talents that support it better, like wrong place, wrong time. It's a supreme talent. And now I think one of the greatest things is that you don't have to sacrifice bad talent tiers in order to make the mage build good, because before you would just pick a level 1 talent that just worked on a Guillotine. But now it gives also auto attack damage, and it gives spell power, and you can activate it on demand with a level 4. You don't make your other kit worse by picking mage talents, but it also works for what do you usually use Zul'jin for, which is auto attacking. You also can have U1 attacks and you can still be mage.
So it's like the old Mage Zul'jin with better talents, and also apart from the old auto attack Zul'jin.
Especially the range.
The range is insane. But it's basically more of a hybrid. If you compare it to the old, it's more of a hybrid. It's not only just Mage Zul'jin, because he does insane auto attack damage, because you have baseline U1 axe as well.
Lexa in chat here kind of says he is part Raynor, part Chromie.
Yeah, something like that. Except that Raynor dies and Chromie also just dies, where Zul'jin generally has a easier time staying alive. also has a little bit more utility in a way.
Yeah.
Like, slows at 13.
Yeah,
Whoa.
and I guess
The slow is insane on 13.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that, but he also trades much better. Like, let's say you get a tracer and she dives you in the backline. Chromie will just hope that she's that someone saves her, or ice block it, time trap it, what it's called, her 13 thing. But Zul'jin can pretty much just right click her and just wait for her to take him down in HP, so it does just more damage, and hope that she doesn't have the bomb up. Pretty much.
And one thing that's amazing with Zul'jin as well is basically you can one-shot Junkrat really easily.
Yeah. And also just think there's a funny thing that Raynor gets pretty much eliminated by poke. Also, he doesn't have a large health pool. He needs time to do things. Well, I played just against Chromie, and there was a funny moment when I take full Chromie face to the combo to the face, and now I'm low health, and I said something back because I'm low health now. And now Chromie has slightly less health than Zul'jin, so Chromie is coming back in 40 seconds.
Easy game.
So it's you're not just good against poke, you kind of want to take the poke.
Yeah.
To an extent at least.
If I were to compare it with Zarya, this also goes into why Zul'jin was bad before, now he isn't anymore, is like Zul'jin kind of wants to farm energy, or in this case damage, by taking damage. But the thing was before that Zul'jin before had to put himself to really low HP, where like Zarya is like, yeah, I'm basically still full HP, what are you talking about? And Zarya can still take a beating, but Zul'jin will just die then. But now that he has Amani range, he doesn't need to be at low HP always to deal a significant amount of damage. Now he just goes, hey, I press 1, hey, press R. Oh.
I mean, you can stay around 70 to 80% HP really easily and not be in any harm's way, and still do like a 2k damage Testingo. I mean the guillotine.
So much I want to talk about here, really, because you also have the recklessness on level 1 now, when you get bonus attack damage and 20% extra spell power when you're below 50% health. And so get down to 75%, use your Amani rage, throw at the W and the R, and see motherfuckers blow up. Pretty much. Galnagan, our friend of the show, says in chat that Magein is dominant because you get backline pressure from your own backline. And who are we to disagree with anything he says? Again, there are plenty of things that I want to talk about. We mentioned now he got more talents in his W, for his W, and they are all pretty interesting. There are, of course, things like just hit heroes with it, get lower cooldown, stuff like that. The swirling, the slow on 13 is great, and of course, wrong place at the wrong time on level 16. Where you hit at the apex of the twin blades, you do 150 additional damage and 5 stacks of U1 axe. It's just a lot of really good synergy here, and at the same time as you don't lose what makes the auto attack strong. But any criticism towards this rework? Like, do we have anything bad to say about it?
It's linear. You only have one viable build, pretty much.
It is kind of like that because
there's some different, but you don't go full Testingo.
Yeah, but because Blizzard hates when there's only one viable build.
The thing is with auto-tech builds, honestly, I don't think it's too bad. Mage builds just overall is a little bit stronger right now. But I see some scenarios where you can just go to auto-tech build. The biggest problem is that Testingo can just get countered too easily if those counters fall out of the meta and the opponent doesn't pick it up because they are thinking, oh, he's going mage build, and you just suddenly turn around and, hey, this is a double support Zul'jin now, what are you gonna do? Could work, but it's a very small niche at the moment.
Would it be too OP if Testingo had Unstoppable?
Probably.
Oh boy. Oh, boy.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, you can still blind him because they removed the blind thingy, so you could still get counted.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it would probably be too much.
But
It was just a thought.
I think it would be OP, but I think one of the reasons why mage build is also so good is that you have multiple sources of dealing damage. You don't just get countered by blinds. If you're blinded, you can throw a guillotine during that time on W and you still murder people. But if you go just auto attack build, you'll get bodied by Johanna or some other things. But now nothing completely eliminates you if you're mage build.
Oh, okay, before we move on, but Galnagunnar says in chat that if enemy does not have any backline heroes, he thinks a build, auto attack build, still is better.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely think so. Like, that also, if they don't have a backline, your auto attack range is really freaking big, and if they really need to walk up into that, and then they're all melee, so they all need to back up, so they don't have any way to finish you off really once you come out of guillotine, and also just have a lot of time. You're like a super safe Vala then, basically, because you have more range, more damage. You have basically a self-defined shield in a way then.
Yeah, and that's actually a great transition. The only thing I want to mention before we go over to that is that the only negative I found with Zul'jin is what I always find with Zul'jin. It's really hard to study step when your auto attack speed changes all the time. But yeah, that's gonna help.
Have you tried to get good?
Yeah, I considered it at the time. I did.
Have you tried being a turret?
I mean,
still
Greeny don't stutter step on Zarya, so he's used to it.
Yeah, but Rooney uses locked camera, so I'm not sure how serious you should take him. Anyways, what you mentioned there is like he is like Vala, only with more this, more that, more that. That's the thing I'm interested in here. Where does new Zul'jin sit in comparison to the old, like, really good AA heroes? Of course, Vala, Lunara. Will we? Let me say that like another ways. Will we see him much in BlizzCon? We have only seen him once or twice.
I think that pros have had situations where I think Zul'jin would have been the straight up best pick, but I think teams are still slightly afraid with him because you pick Vala, you can never really go that much wrong. Yeah. But at some point, I think somebody will pick the Zul'jin and people will be like, oh, he's really good. But he still has the same weaknesses he used to in terms that he has shit weight clear. You can take mercenaries really well with him, whereas Vala, you have multi-shot and you can one-shot camps with the Hungering Arrow build.
And you also have more mobility with both Lunara and Vala.
That's the biggest part.
Yeah, mobility. I think that's the biggest part.
Like, it's the same with,
really low.
It's the same with Zarya. Like, Zarya has absolute no mobility, whereas Zul'jin can actually still walk, but he still has really low mobility. And Vala can just zoom around the whole screen with like 20% movement speed and just don't care. Same with Lunara.
I honestly don't think you should pick Zul'jin that much without Lucio, because that's the thing that makes him good and that fixes the mobility issue.
Yeah, that's a good point. To new listeners, Zarya for Rune is kind of like other people are with their babies. It's like yeah, this happened the other day. Yeah, but Zarya, blah, 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 blah. And so on and so on. We spent a lot of time now on Zul'jin. We're going to move on to the last hero that we wanted to talk about today that has been changed. And it is everyone's favorite dwarf, at least the top 3, Muradin. So what has really changed with Muradin?
He's an extra stand on 7.
OP.
On 7. Yeah. Pretty OP. Okay, so the talent that earlier was on 16, that was called Dwarf Launch?
Heavy Impact.
Of course. Earlier it was on 16. I remember it was super fun when someone picked it because it got pretty popular after the last international, I think, because some Koreans used it. Anyways, it has now been moved to level 7. And what it does is it stuns the target that you land on when you dwarf toss. And is that what it suddenly makes it move?
Yeah, where to begin? Like the rework, what did it mostly change? Mostly his level 7 and his level 16 tier.
Yeah.
It did change. It did give him a little bit of a boost on his level 20 ultimate upgrade of Avatar. Also Haymaker, I'm pretty sure, also got a little bit of a buff. But it's mostly due to that heavy impact and Dwarf Launch, therefore being heavy impact is no longer at 16, and that means Dwarf Launch is now a thing at 16. And Executioner, or Give him the Axe, is now also at 7.
And also pointing out, there is a baseline quest that gives him a formerly really good talent, but still worse than the other options as a baseline.
Yeah.
And half of another good talent.
I have very splitting opinions about that quest talent. I do like it in that sense that I always hit my Stormbolt, so finally I'm rewarded for it. And I also kind of like the Piercing Bolt talent, but I could never take it because it was on level 7. Now I will get it as a reward. The only thing I find really weird is how you get extra stacks, if you last hit someone with a Stormbolt. And isn't what Stormbolt is supposed to do? Like, why would they want to make us think like that?
I didn't realize it at all until you said it, honestly.
It's not blasted, it's 3 seconds within hitting Stormbolt. So in other words, if you use this ability to gank a person, you get more value. Because I think with the new Muradin build with heavy impact, he has become better at ganking because you can stun on the jump and always confirm the Stormbolt thanks to that.
Yeah. No more Froge bolts.
And Wits being better at ganking.
That's still a thing.
That is still a thing. Also, Froge jumps are also now a thing.
I thought frogs would be good at jumping.
Yeah, he was so.
It's also like with his ganking being better right now. There's a new ultimate, brand new, fresh. Like you can actually pick it now. Playmaker. It can possibly be picked. That's a good improvement.
Yeah, because
I saw it on. Sorry.
Yeah, Haymaker is fun to play around with. Yeah, we have seen it also at BlizzCon. Yeah,
Tempest has gone it all the times, I think, and Roll20 did it yesterday.
Because of course I can see now how you jump in and you stun with a jump. You maybe throw out the W, and you have plenty of time both to hit your Q to like secure that extra stun and position yourself in a way that you're gonna get most value out of Haymaker.
Basically that. Also, gank ups with Haymaker are pretty funny because it's a pretty low cooldown and you just knock someone really far towards your gate.
Or if you play in a show match and you play a healer and a Avatar jumps behind you and push you into the tower zone on Towers of Doom.
Oh my, would I do that?
Feels amazing, man.
Never happened.
Amazing. Okay, so we kind of agree that Muradin he's had a rework, and it's good. We all like it. We all enjoy it, it seems, and it's mostly because now you have heavy impact on 7 and a dwarf launch on 16 that makes you fly just even further, and you can really make plays with that. I kind of feel Haymaker still is kind of up in the air, mostly because Avatar is still really strong, and I almost forgot that. Level 20 Avatar upgrade used to be the shittiest talent in the game. But now it's actually pretty interesting, isn't it?
There is still Plate of the Bronze and Show of Brain on Alarak, but yeah, it's close.
It's close. But now it's with Avatar active, you gain 20 extra armor, and basic attacks reduce the cooldown of Thunderclap and Dwarf Toss by a half a second for each auto attack. So on I think it was on Chris' stream, one of the Liquid guys played Muradin, and yeah, he had the Abba hat on him, but he was level 20, he popped Avatar, he had healing static and double Thunderclap, and he just stood in 5 enemy heroes. But of course they were stupid enough to just group around him, so every Thunderclap healed him. He just stood there for like 30 seconds while they just boom, 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 pew, 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 boom, and he was just like, I'm a dwarf.
You basically become immortal at that when you take the level 20 upgrade. The thing with Hardened Shield is that if they are actually capable of bursting you down through Avatar and the 20 armor, Hardened Shield is going to be better, but like, I think you should pretty much always go for either Rewind now or the ultimate upgrade.
Yeah. I don't even remember, what did Avatar do before?
Nothing. Super shit.
It gave you CC reduction while Avatar was up, and it lasted longer.
Oh yeah.
It was dubbed as Unstoppable Wars for a kind of good reason, because it wasn't exactly good.
Yeah, no. It was pretty bad. 30% more duration, Rosvex says in chat there.
Okay. But CC reduction by 75. Yeah.
I'm really happy about the new Unstoppable Force, new Avatar. It just makes you immortal, and being immortal is fun. And I've also had great fun getting to 16, getting the extra range on Dwarf Toss, just jumping around, stunning everyone, and I've even put Dwarf Toss to press to active on release keybind thingy, because I really want to hit them now.
But if you want to have fun, why do you have Avatar?
Yeah, good point. I hate having fun, actually. That's something that happened after I started my master's and became a serious student. Like, fun is just completely not prioritized anymore. The only thing that I would say I'm not happy about with this Muradin changes is I can't go like carry Muradin anymore with give him the axe and Skullcracker on 7. Stuff like that, because you have so many good talents now on 7.
Yeah, his 16 is maybe a little underwhelming if you want to go for that kind of stuff.
I think Blizzard has had a bad habit of butchering talent variety when they do reworks. Yeah. Like, they nerfed going to the give him the axe, so they nerfed Muradin's basic attack damage by quite a heavy amount, and they nerfed the damage bonus give him the axe gives, and they took away the possibility of taking it with Skullcracker. So
yeah, it's just I found it really fun to be like in Hero League. I have to tank. Okay, I just pick Muradin, and I both have great survivability, and I can just kill some backliners while the rest of my team just clowns around. And I kind of can't do that anymore.
Now you just stun lock them and possibility punch them into your team instead.
Yeah, and hope that they understand that, you see this Chromie in the middle of our backline. Maybe we should press right click on her.
Or then you can play Need for Feed and punch a Colossus Smash variant to 0 health Junkrat's face also. Or then you can punch the hunt target away inside enemy gates. Yeah, we're not playing with Haymaker. Not anymore.
Yeah, you guys probably should.
Griefers in my team.
Griefers in my team. Okay, Muradin.
In your team.
A lot of new fun stuff going in there. I want to move on from him, but before we do, ETC has really come back in the meta. We can't talk about ETC, we don't have time, but he's really back in the meta. And now Muradin also is by far. I think like every BlizzCon, the warrior meta is Muradin ETC. And then in the year between, like they maybe fall out. We had a lot of Stitches, we had a lot of new barracks, stuff like that for a while. But now they also are kind of down prioritized, and it's back to Muradin ETC.
I was about to say, where have I seen this before? Muradin ETC.
Also, just pointing out, Johanna has got some buffs as well.
Yeah,
that is real news. Like Johanna buffs basically make her immortal.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, she still has the same niche that doesn't come up quite as often, because most pro teams don't leave it to the tank to have wave clear.
Also, sorry.
Yeah, and of course you have the self cleanse on tank. That can be useful. That's the most important niche that Johanna can be drafted in.
Yeah.
It doesn't come up quite as often, and I don't see Johanna being better anytime soon.
She's often used on like Towers of Doom when you have a 3-2 strat, 2 on the bot lane and 3 rotating with a Gul'dan or something. I think then she's probably the best tank, but yeah.
Also, not maybe so much in EU, but in ALUL, Garrosh every game.
Yeah.
But that's because they can't dodge his Qs.
Yeah, like how can you not dodge Garrosh Qs?
Positioning is hard. Anyway,
I've never been hit by it.
Yeah, certainly me neither.
What also
Lord.
surprised me of BlizzCon is the surprising lack of Ana in a way.
Yeah.
I kind of understand it because of, again, mobility is the thing. Like, Overwatch heroes generally either have 0 mobility or way too much mobility.
How good is she as a solo support? Because like EU hasn't played solo double support at all.
Let me answer that. Next week. Okay.
Yeah, but one word. I'm not surprised by the lack of Ana, and I'm not surprised by the lack of Zul'jin, basically because watching teams interviews, everyone has been saying we want to hide our strats as long as we can. Like everyone has been playing their purest standard thus far.
Yeah.
Finally plays on triple globals comps, and they know they're not going to fall on group stages, so they can afford to have their own Anas and Zul'jins for later on.
Yeah, I definitely think so too, and it is a very good segue over to the last topic that we're going to cover today, which is BlizzCon. BlizzCon is going on right now, kind of. The opening week has started, which means the group play is on. It's 4 groups, 4 teams in each group, etc., where the 2 best teams from each groups go forward. We're not going to go through it all, but it hasn't been any specific upset so far, except for the part that NA is still in the competition, which is fun for them, I guess. But now, we only have 1 group day left, and then next weekend we're really heading into the Blizzard, like the finals, the quarterfinals, and so on. And I agree with Ravitar. I think that's where you'll really see what the team has been planning.
Yeah. And we'll even go to Sweden with Heroes Lodge. Guys, yay!
That's
Me and Ravitar is going at least.
And fuck you, Narsha.
Yeah.
Narsha, I'll miss you.
Yeah, me too.
Ravitar
Now I have to do Narsha jokes all by myself.
Yeah, thank you for
I'll help you.
Yeah, you guys take the responsibility and keep people entertained while in my absence. That's right. A group of us is gonna gather in Sweden to watch it all together in about a week, a little bit under. But when it comes to BlizzCon, of course, that's the big thing of the year for all Blizzard-related things. What do we expect Heroes of the Storm-wise? Like last year, we had Varian and Ragnaros and this really cool cinematic with them together. The year before that, I think that was the year they gave us Cho'Gall.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they
Lunara and Greyman.
and Lunara and Greyman. So we have a tendency not only to get multiple heroes announced, but also some weird heroes or special kind of heroes. What do we expect this year? And do not say expect of dragons, aka dragon characters, because that's Galnagunnar's suggestion.
I was just gonna say Alex Trasa.
Yeah, but there has been a trend of BlizzCons at revealing new heroes, and they're always Warcraft heroes.
Yeah.
Or have been so far. But one that I'm also expecting on top of Alex Traza is Franco Tildon, aka Firebat from StarCraft.
Oh, yeah.
And
It's been mentioned.
There hasn't been many actual warriors released this year. So I think it would be... Garrosh and Diva are the only ones, and Diva Warrior, lol.
Yeah. I do know a team that played solo Diva frontline.
Yeah, but that was a good giant cheese from Roll20.
Yeah, I was more thinking about Team Solid and Vikings cheese on Towers of Doom. It worked fine.
But that was taken from Dignitas, so...
Yeah, but let's just mention Alex Trasa for a second. A lot of rumors are going around about Alex Trasa. She's one of the dragon aspect, the aspect of life from the Warcraft universe. She's a dragon with an elf form, kind of like Chrome is in her gnome form in Heroes of the Storm. Gunnar is calling it right now. She will be a warrior/support multi-class. I am not sure. The only thing I know about multi-class is they need to put more heroes in it because it's only been a variant for a year now, and it's kind of starting to feel stupid.
Yeah, I'm still stuck on my multi-class quest.
I doubt she will be a warrior, but what I was guessing based on kind of how she works in Hustle, for example, of setting people's health to somewhere, I'm kind of expecting could she be a percentage-based healer, something we haven't seen.
But I mean, if she's the same as you
or then and with percentage-based heal and ability to set people's health to a certain point.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction here: is that Blizzard is gonna debate us yet again by using Deathwing's voice, and then and with Deathwing's voice they announce a different character.
Every time.
Every time.
And I'll make a personal promise. I'll just quit the game if they reveal 2 more Overwatch heroes.
But I mean, from the release list, it's just Hanzo left, I think.
Hanzo,
that has been spoiled.
Yeah, the unofficial release list. Yeah, that kind of seems very accurate. But I do agree here. Like the Overwatch, like I don't play Overwatch. It's a fine game, I guess. A lot of people like it, so happy for them. The Overwatch characters that we get in Heroes of the Storm, it's most of the time not my favorite characters. I enjoy me some Tracer, but apart from that, it's just like pretty meh. But if they announce 2 more characters at BlizzCon and they are both Overwatch characters, I have to admit I will be a bit disappointed.
I'm pretty sure there will be no Overwatch characters for this BlizzCon.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot. The 2 last ones were Overwatch characters with Junkrat, so yeah, they're not going to do that.
They're going to go back to five Warcraft melee assassins.
But also another thing to point out, this year has been very poor in terms of StarCraft and Diablo.
Yeah,
like, there's only been 2 heroes from both universes. There has been Probius and Strukov from the StarCraft, and there has been Malthael and Cassia from Diablo. Yeah, and that's it.
I do feel, though, it's much like we're going outside of regular boundaries here, but I do feel it's almost natural because those universes. I have played very, very little StarCraft and only some Diablo, but I feel both of those universes have a much more limited amount of characters to choose from than the Warcraft universe have.
That is real news. Like, Warcraft universe is generally just way more expandable than either StarCraft or Diablo.
Yeah, but not to say there's still plenty of characters both from Diablo and StarCraft that they could add, but as you say, there's a lot more in Warcraft to choose from.
Yeah, and I think I saw something about there's some fan that wrote on Reddit or something that there is not any more support characters from this universe that they can put in. I can't remember if that was Diablo or StarCraft. I can't remember, but like that would be kind of sad in a way.
Yeah. So, but I mean, also from a designer's perspective, if you have an option, okay, what hero do we want to design now? And you have like 1,000 of opportunities in Warcraft and maybe just a few in the other universe, it's much more likely to find something that's fun and interactive.
Also,
Warcraft, I guess.
Just pointing out, Strukov was a playable character in StarCraft also, but he's nowhere like a support. Like, he shot some poison blasts at people and could summon Infested to kill people. He wasn't a support. Blizzard just decided for Heroes of the Storm that, okay, now you are a support.
Yeah, but I guess team-wise it makes sense.
Yeah, heal people with cancer. But...
yeah, the best kind. Okay, but... yeah, really?
Also, the thing is, like, it's called Heroes of the Storm, and they mostly only pick the most well-known characters. That is a trend that has been going since forever, and they've never really picked quite unknown characters.
Probius?
I mean, Probius, Lunara aren't really...
yeah, okay, I guess Lunara, but they're...
Brightwing is just a random fairy dragon.
That's true, too. But those are more exceptions than the rule, and you don't really want to take like specific characters that are not... like that are not quite well known, because you want to generate hype really. And yeah, people want to play their favorite characters, and if like 90% of the people don't know the character because they never played StarCraft, you only know it if you played like this exact title of StarCraft.
Yeah, and that's kind of why we're talking about it at all, because normally we don't talk about who would the next hero will be, blah, 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 in that way. But for BlizzCon, they normally do something special or something big. Like Kel'Thuzad came out a little while ago, and I expected him to be announced at BlizzCon. That would be something, because people have been waiting for him for so long. He's iconic. Everybody knows him. Everyone has been asking for him. But that he was announced at Gamescom. So what do they have up their sleeve?
I think the only hero that can top off the hype that was Kel'Thuzad is probably Deathwing.
Yeah.
And for StarCraft viewers, Samir Duran, but maybe not. Almost.
I haven't played StarCraft.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
It's a shapeshifter. Let's say that much. And
yeah, okay.
He's kind of the servant to the great evil guy. That's right hand man to him.
We'll see what they announce. Personally, I know that I'm going to be disappointed unless they announce a character called Latino. No, I wanted to release a character called Latino Heat that has a hey on Q, hey on W, and hey on E, and that's your combo.
Sounds like a really shitty hero.
And the ult is a good joke.
Yeah. The other ult is also a good joke.
I don't think hey and good joke really go together that well.
It's a natural synergy.
Sounds like a terrible idea.
From a game designer's perspective, I'm not sure if you want to implement that, because this bad joke will be an insta-kill.
It will also paralyze your teammates.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. We're not going to talk about the esport when it comes to BlizzCon, because it's way too much to go into. But we are going to do a round who is going to win it all. And we're going to start with you, Ravatar. Who's going to win BlizzCon?
I'll be the obvious. Well, it's either Fnatic or MVP. Like, top 4 is going to MVP Black, Fnatic, Dignitas, and then maybe Expert or L5.
Peter?
Out of those, Fnatic is the most likely, I think. But any of those, save Expert or L5, can win.
Yeah, and I'm a Swedish fanboy, Fnatic.
I would rather say that Fedoras will find a way to rig themselves into it and win, but I will go with Dig, because I like their style.
We can have the BlizzCon finals NFF versus Fedoras finally there.
Yeah.
The great plot twist.
I think I really want to give it to a European team. I really do. But with Noblesse drafting for MVP Black, like he's the coach for them during BlizzCon, and MVP Black being a technical amazing team. Like that combination, it just seems really, really strong for me. But of course, I'm hoping for both Dignitas and Fnatic to both do really good. Both do really good. But of course, most important of all is to crush NA in every possible way when we can. That was, as usual, plenty of time from us. That was all that we got this week. Again, we need to apologize for not being around lately, and hopefully real life chills out a bit so we can keep the episodes coming. But for now, it's time for some final words. Ravatar, you have anything you want to say to our listeners before we go?
See you next week. I'll be creative. I hope we see you next week anyways. Right.
Next week is BlizzCon weekend, so a lot of people will be at BlizzCon
meetups. We will be hopefully sending it from the lounge house or whatever.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. Yeah. Maybe we can do something with me over Skype or something like that. But we'll just have to.
Production man Semmer's gonna be there as well.
Yeah. We'll have a drunk production guy. Seems good.
Yeah. Regarding that, by the way, it's a 24-minute video out that came from Dontry, our editor, that just that was just released from DreamHack, where we also did a lot of really cool stuff. We can probably link that somewhere too. It's definitely worth checking out. Peter, you have any shout-outs?
Shout out to Slothcast, you, Narsha, Rena, Sambar, everyone who's doing an amazing job keeping this up, and hopefully we'll keep it up better than we have done during the summer. And shout out to Heroes Lounge for being an amazing community as well.
Indeed. Rooney, you have anything to say before we go?
Let's hope we don't need to revive this really often. I hear it's bad for your health. But anyway, have you read the guide? That's the only question I can really ask. Back to you.
Read the guide. Do not play Saria without reading the guide. That's pretty much it. As usual, you can find myself at _Narsha on Twitter and in a Discord server near you. I'm in almost all of them, it feels. And we would all really appreciate if you check the show out on the Twitter at SlothcastHots. We will link that somewhere too, so please give us a follow there. You can also give us a follow here on Twitch and YouTube and all those things. Long story short, it really helps a lot. We appreciate it, but until next time, feel free to hang out with us in our Discord. The Slothcast Discord is open for everyone. We will hopefully give that a link too, so you are more than welcome to hang out with us there, especially now with Blizzcon coming up. It's going to be a lot of interesting talk about how they do things and how we can criticize them, aka criticize NA. So I hope to see you guys around in that Discord, but until next time, good luck and have feeds.
Bye.